Hello, and thank you for watching The Righteous Kitchen, a cooking and baking blog found at www.therighteouskitchen.blogspot.com. Today I am going to share with you my original recipe for caramel apple crostata. Now in another video I went through how to prepare an all butter pie crust. So I have that now in the refrigerator chilling, and I've begun working on the apple filling. So this uses 3 Granny Smith apples, and I always use Granny Smith when I'm baking pies or tarts or crostatas because I like the tartness that it gives, and I like that it doesn't mush down in your baking. So I don't even blend it any other varieties. I just stick with the Granny Smith apple. So what we're going to do is just use our vegetable peeler and get this peeled. And since we're only using 3 apples and we're using the crostata kind of just like a free form pie, this goes together a lot easier than an apple pie goes together. It's a lot more time consuming to prepare a pie. All right, so we have this peeled. We're going to slice it in half. We're going to use our apple core to get the seeds out. And then we want to take the end and slice that off too, on both sides. Okay. So once it's peeled and cored, we're going to slice it to about 1/8 inch thickness. There we go. We don't want them any thinner than that. We want to have a little texture to them. So that's our 3 apples prepared. And let me get this chopping block out of the way. Now I did save 1/2 of an apple. I just have the half and I didn't slice it. This is going to become the center of the crostata. So we have our apples. We have about a tablespoon of lemon juice. We're going to give that a quick toss. Then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of flour, 1/3 cup sugar, 2 tablespoons of good quality butter, and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. And what we're going to do is just mix this very well. And everything tossed in here. All right. Just toss it a little bit more. Now we're going to let this sit a few minutes, and in the meantime I'll roll out my pie dough, but I want to wash my hands really quick. Okay, so we have the apples just hanging out over here, and I'm going to show you a trick to rolling out the pie crust. Here's my pan, and I line it with parchment. So now this parchment is going to protect the pan, and it's going to be easy cleanup, but it's also going to be a guide that I can look at and see. That's my oven. It's up. It's preheated to 350. This is also a template to see how big I can roll my pie crust. If I really don't want it to be bigger than what'll fit in the pan. And look at this crust. You can see all that butter flakes throughout. That means that we are going to have a nice flaky pie crust. Now I really like this method of rolling out dough because you don't have to get the flour and worry about things sticking. It's just all contained right in between the parchment and the plastic wrap. There we go. And then you don't have to worry about transferring it because this is what you're going to be baking it on also. Just these little tips are what makes it foolproof for you in the kitchen. Nobody likes to have things drop and spill or not turn out right. Now, we're not worried about the shape or how it looks. This is a free-form crust. It's supposed to look rustic. I'm going to try to get some more going in this direction. This is a great dough to work with. It's not sticky or anything like that. Very easy to work with. Now my husband hasn't had one of these in a long time, so I'm making two. So hopefully that'll keep him happy for a while. Okay. What I'm looking for is a pastry brush. There we go. Okay. Here's my egg. This is for the wash, but I also will put a little bit around the diameter of this after my apples go in, just to kind of help to prevent from any leaks. Okay. So our crust is out. And our apples, they coat better now because the apples are now sweating. So we're able to get that cinnamon mixture in there really good. And I'm going to use my gloves because it's going to save me a little bit of time. Okay, here we go. Here's the center of our apple. So that's going to act as our guide. Let me come to the camera and make sure that you could see that. Okay, you can see that, good. Now I was trying to figure a way to get the most apples in this crostata. So just standing them up works pretty well. So I just stand them up and then I go all the way around the center of that apple. And just take your time doing that. Just go all the way around. If they start to fall over, just kind of stand them up again. It's been a while. I don't even think I made a apple crostata during the holidays. So anywhere there's gaps, just kind of go in and tuck in more pieces. It's all about getting as much apples as you can in here. Okay, now we had some butter, so let's just dab the butter all the way around here. Okay. And any juices that are in the pan, we're going to want those. So just get those in there. Okay, now I'm going to go around here around this, the diameter. I'm going to go around all these apples. Because when I go to fold this in, your dough could tear sometimes. So with that in there, that's going to help me. So just use your paper and let it help you to bring this crust around. Okay? So bring it in and then use it with your hand and kind of press it up against those apples. And just keep working. Now we said this is a free form, so it doesn't have to look like anything special. You want it to look homemade and rustic. And then just take your hands kind of push it all together. There we go. And press it on those apples. So that's all there is to it. So we have more egg wash. I'm going to give it another egg wash. Start at the bottom. Just brush up. Now sometimes I put a sugar crust. I don't always put a sugar crust. Just depends. But you do want a nice egg wash on it. You want this to brown up really pretty. So just go all the way around. And that is it. Now, easiest way to get this back on here is just to slide it right on over. Slide it over. So that's my tips. Very easy. So I am going to bake this probably about 60 minutes in a 350 degree preheated oven and let it do its thing. So I will be back in about an hour and show you how it turned out. Thank you for watching. I have the apple crostata out of the oven now, and I'm just going to let it sit there and cool down, and go ahead and bring the other one out. So this is the second apple crostata. I'm going to get that cooling, and then I'll come over here and give you a close-up of these. It's fresh out of the oven. 2 apple crostatas, because these, once the word gets out that I've made these, they're going to be gone pretty quickly. And then we have some homemade caramel sauce to go with that, and some no churn vanilla ice cream. So I'll be back in a few to plate this up. All right, I say let's go ahead and plate this up. All right. Look at that flaky crust. There we go. Let's see if we can see the bottom of the, that's a nice crust. You're going to want to eat that because it's nice and flaky. Okay? Let's get some ice cream over here. And this is that no churn vanilla ice cream. There is a video on my YouTube channel for all these recipes. The ice cream, the pie, and the caramel sauce. All these are on my YouTube, The Righteous Kitchen. So please look for those videos and share them with your friends and help me out, why don't you? Give it a like, give it a share, and please subscribe. Here it is. Caramel apple crostata. with homemade ice cream and homemade caramel sauce. And I will come over there and get you a close-up picture of that, because I know you're going to want to see that. There it is.